All right, let's start over. I'm Melinda Tolbert, licensed instructor for the EA Bootcamp. I'm a licensed enrolled agent, the founder of MJ Tax Relief Group. I have been in the tax industry for 20 years. I'm a member of the American Bar Association. I sit on the tax committee, a member of the ASCPS, NAEA, Association of Certified Fraud Examiners. I'm a board member of Girls Inc. I love my community daughters. I'm also a board member of the Muskogee County Board of Equalization and a member of the Muskogee County Department of Juvenile Justice. So your girl is busy. Two things that I want you to know about me. One, I love Jesus, Jeezy, and Jay-Z. I know that's a hell of a combination, but that's just what I love. The second thing you need to know about me is I'm a mother first. Um, this is my beautiful family. This was taken in 2023. I didn't have time to find an updated photo. Behind me is my oldest son. He is 25 years old. I know I don't look old enough to have a 25-year-old son, but I do. Um, in the all black is my husband. We've been together 28 years, I think. I don't know. We've been together so long. It's either 28 years or 29 years. My daughter, she gives us HELL. She's 11 years old. And
Better.
somebody say something?
She gives you hell.
Oh yeah, she does. She don't she look like it? Don't she look like it?
Mhm.
Baby son is he'll be 18 years old next week. He's graduating, so I have a lot going on this year, and it's been a emotional roller coaster watching about to leave. It- he's there's so Okay, thank you so much. So, before we get started, I want to ask you all some questions just to see what you know and what I need to help you with. So, answer that poll question that you see on the screen. It says, under what circumstances does the 3-year statute of limitations not apply to a filed tax return? A, the return contains fraudulent tax items. B, the tax return substantially underreports income. C, the return was prepared by the IRS. Or D, all the above. And I see some people are doing what you should not be doing. And I'll tell you what you're doing wrong in a minute. Let's see, we got 53% participation. Come on, everybody, we need 100% participation. One thing about this masterclass in our EA Facebook group, if you don't participate, you will not learn. See what you know and see what you don't know. Find out what you need to learn. Okay, we got 22% saying A, 3% saying B, 13% C, and 64% is saying all the above. Are you sure? All right, we have a 77% participation. So, okay, people are changing their minds. Why are you changing your mind? All right, so the answer is all the above. One thing that I noticed some of you doing is you answered the first question just like that. You have to read all the options. Don't just select the first answer that you see because you know is right or you know that's true off top. I'm telling you, you're not gonna pass the exam like that. Make sure you read the question, figure out what the question is asking you, read all the options because the first option is true, but so is the second and the third option. And the answer is all the above. That's why you should never, ever answer the first option, select the first option. So good job to everybody that got it correct. Let me give you an explanation of that. So the 3-year statute of limitation does not apply when a return is fraudulent or underreports income by more than 25% of the gross income that's stated on the return or was prepared by the IRS. The IRS can examine any of these returns even though the tax year is closed. In the case of a return that underreports income, the statute of limitation is extended to 6 years. So make sure you know that as well. Fraudulent returns and returns prepared by the IRS can be examined at any time. Always know that if you don't file a tax return, the statute of limitations never start. And that's one thing that you need to make sure your clients are aware of. Even if a substitute tax return was filed by the IRS, the statute of limitations still does not start until you actually file it. Okay, let me launch another poll question. Number 2. Can y'all see that?
No, Melinda, not the poll question. We can't see yet.
Not yet.
I
No.
still see the first question.
Yeah, the first one, you close it out, then there should be a second question come up, but it's not coming up, Melinda.
I closed the first one out. That's weird. It won't let me launch it. All right. Okay, let me close that and open the poll back up. I don't know why it won't let me launch the question. Let me try to resave it. Okay, stop sharing that one. Share the results. Those are the results. Stop sharing the results and go back. Okay, there it is. Number 2. Can you all see that before I start?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. For taxpayers that want someone to represent them in their absence at an examination or at an appeal within the IRS, all of the following statements are correct except A, the taxpayer must furnish representative with written authorization on Form 2848, which is a power of attorney, and declaration of representative or any other properly written authorization. B, the representative can be an attorney, certified public accountant, or an enrolled agent. C, the representative can be anyone who helped the taxpayer prepare the return. Or D, even if the taxpayer appointed a representative, the taxpayer may attend the examination or appeals conference and may act on his or her own behalf. That's a tricky one. I'll give y'all a few minutes.
Chanel said she can't see the poll.
I can't hear you.
Oh, sorry. Chanel said she can't see the poll.
Chanel, you are having technical difficulties on your end, boo. Everybody can see the poll, but you.
Oh, no. I posted that when you first asked.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you. All right, we got 67% participation on that one. 91% said the representative can be anyone who helped the taxpayer prepare the return. So, with this question, let me end the poll. The answer is C. The representative can be anyone who helped the taxpayer prepare the return. That is the correct answer because not because that statement is true, but because the statement is false. If you look at the last line of the question, it says except. All of the following statements are correct except. So in this question, they're looking for the wrong answer. You're going to see some of these on the exam like this. So make sure that you are getting those correct. Kudos. Most of everybody got that one correct. I'm glad that you all know that because some tax professionals that are not licensed think that they can still represent tax payers. For the life of me, I don't understand why. We'll be here all day talking about that. Okay. I had a few more, but I want to go ahead and get started because I have quite a few slides and it's 12:12 already. So kudos to everybody who participated, got them wrong, got them right. If you got them wrong, I guarantee you when you see that question, oh, look at all that. I'm having all kind of difficulties going on over here. Let me delete this annotation stuff. Delete, clear. All right. So today we are going to talk about IRS contact with third parties and tax return examinations. When you hear me say examinations and audits, I'm talking about the same thing. And that's something that you need to know for the exam too, because sometimes you might see the word tax return audit. At other times you might see the word tax return examination, but it's the same thing. We are going to talk about IRS contacts, how they contact third parties and conduct tax examinations. And hold on, let me make sure. Is that poll out of everybody's way? All right, perfect.
Mhm.
All right, so the section that we're going to cover today is in part 3 under the representation before the IRS section. That section has 25 questions on the EA exam. That's something that we're going to help you understand how many questions is on each section on the exam. That way you will know how much you need to study and how much time you need to spend on each section based on how many questions is on the exam on that specific topic. Okie dokie. So the IRS is required to notify taxpayers before they contact third parties for information. There are exceptions though. The IRS may contact your bank, your employers, and your nosy ass neighbors. And I promise you, the nosy ass neighbors are going to be the ones to get you in trouble. They're going to tell the IRS everything they know about you, especially if you're the one that got the best yard and the nice grass and the nice cars, how that secret competition goes on in these communities. So be cautious of third-party contacts. It is legal. The only time the IRS does not have to give an advance notice if the case involves a criminal investigation, or if the notification would jeopardize any collection efforts, or if the notice would put someone at risk of like a retaliation, if they think that you're going to go out and try to do something to the third party, they won't notify you in advance. Or if you've already, and when I say you, I'm speaking of the taxpayer, if the taxpayer has already authorized the contact, then they don't have to provide an advance notice for that. If a case involves fraud or criminal charges, remember this because it's probably going to be on the exam. If the case involves fraud or criminal charges, the IRS is not required to provide a notice before reaching out to third parties. Oh, and I didn't introduce y'all to my friends, my superhero friends. So you all are going to see them throughout this masterclass, and especially when we get to Vegas, you might see some of my superhero friends in person. So I have a lot of different friends and personalities, and I'm going to introduce you all to some of them today. You have the right to challenge third-party contacts. If a taxpayer believes that their rights were violated, they can challenge the IRS's contact with the third party. And they can do that by two ways. You can file a motion to quash, and that'll invalidate the summons. Or you can do it by asserting legal privileges to protect certain information. I am actually going through the second option right now with the client. It's a big corporation client. They have 3 large successful corporations, and they've had summons for their bank records. They've had summons to also appear in person. It is rare that the IRS issue a summons for the taxpayer to appear in person. We have ignored the summons. I did not allow my client to go. I didn't go on their behalf for very strategic reasons. And I feel like if my client would have went, that they would have been self-incriminating themselves because of the overview of the case, what's going on with the case. I'll tell y'all more about that in Atlanta. The IRS examination, which is audit overview. The IRS conducts audits for multiple reasons, including mismatched income reports or high risk deductions. Taxpayers may be selected for an audit randomly or due to a specific red flag in their tax return. So the IRS examines tax returns to ensure the accuracy and the compliance, identify underreported income, improper deductions, or overstated expenses, and the examination can occur by mail or in person. The form that you see to the right is a Schedule C. I know that if you are a tax professional, you are well aware of what a Schedule C is. If you don't know, the Schedule C is the most highly audited form of all forms. Oh no, it might be neck and neck with the 4136, the fuel tax credit form now. But this form leads to lots of criminal investigations and audits. It is filled out wrong times 10. People are just throwing the Schedule C on tax returns. They don't put any gross income. They're putting 5,000, 10,000, 15,000, 20,000. They're putting numbers that don't even look real on each line under the expense section right here. They are having $100,000 losses if they're trying to reduce somebody's taxable income. They file a loss for 10 years and wonder why their clients are being audited. Make sure that you really understand this Schedule C form, because I promise you this is what leads to a lot of audits in the tax industry. Okay, how the IRS selects returns for audits. There is a diff score that many tax professionals don't know about. The diff score is a secret score that the IRS have. It's an algorithm that determines the likelihood of you as your client are cheating on your tax return. For instance, let's say that you have a home in Beverly Hills, sitting on top of the hills, a $5 million home value, but you're only reporting $40,000 income on your tax return. Something ain't right. Somebody lying somewhere. And that's what the IRS are looking for. They're looking at your return and they're scoring it to see if you are in this zip code, you should be making the average amount of money, which is this amount. So make sure that you are aware of how tax returns are selected for audits. Tax return that also have mismatched third-party reports, like your W-2s aren't matching, the 1099s aren't matching. People, I don't know if they're still doing this, but people were creating fake 1099s, and those 1099s, I guess they didn't know that the employer were supposed to, or the contractor was supposed to report it to the IRS too. I don't know why they thought that they could get away with it, but fake W-2s, fake 1099s, any type of fake form that is supposed to be reported to the IRS and issued to the taxpayer, if it doesn't match, it's gonna trigger an audit. Unusual deductions of high risk tax credits. And a good example of that is the form 4136, which is there's a little snippet right here. This is the fuel tax credit. If you are living and this is from the words of a criminal, a former IRS criminal investigator. He was on our show. He was a guest on our show. We have a new show that's coming out this spring. Anyway, his words from the fuel tax credit is, if you live in the city of Atlanta and you have a fuel tax credit on your on your tax return, some ain't adding up. I don't know if people don't care about the fuel tax credit or if they really don't know how to use it. The fuel tax credit is for off-highway use. It is not for truck drivers that travels all over the US. So if you didn't know, now you know. A audit selection for a specific tax issue. If you don't keep up with the dirty dozens, the IRS annual dirty dozens, you should be keeping up with that to determine what type of issues are hot and what they're paying attention to this year. And also they get tips from public records, from the news, or whistleblowers. Whistleblowers is just a fancy word for a snitch. So please believe that people that envy you and your lifestyle that you all post too much on social media for the public eye, they're reporting you to the IRS, especially if they know that you're doing something wrong. They're gonna report you. So stop doing it. Types of examinations. Their correspondence audits are the most common and they're the easiest to handle. Correspondence audits is probably something like a CP 2000 where you just have to send in some information. You also have the field audits. The field audits are the most detailed and intrusive audits. I really love them though. I know it's kind of weird, but I really love field audits. And going back, let me tell you what each one means. So the correspondence audit is conducted by mail, and it just normally is requesting additional information. The office audit is when the taxpayer must visit an IRS office for review. I don't like IRS office audits. I don't like the atmosphere. I don't like going into their buildings. I don't like their attitudes. I just don't like the IRS at all. Field audits, as I stated, are my favorites. That's when a revenue agent visits the taxpayer's home, business, or the representative's office. If you are a client of mine, I will never allow a revenue agent to go to your home or your business. They have to come see me at my business. I have a section specifically for revenue agents. My staff is instructed to never ever allow that agent to roam through our office. If they need to make copies or something, they need to get permission to make copies. I don't want them questioning my staff. I just want them to do what they are there to do. Nothing more and nothing less. We'll talk about different definitions and the difference between revenue agents and revenue officers. Some people get that mixed up. Today, we are just going to talk about revenue agents, not revenue officers. Let's see if I have any questions so far. Folks be freestyling on the Schedule C. Yes, they do. Will we have access to the decks after training? No, unfortunately, during the masterclass, you will not have access to the slides. But if you attend the live boot camp in person in Atlanta, you will get copies of all slides. Thank you, Tracy. All right, let's talk about what happens in a field examination. So I don't play around with revenue agents because they are known to be bullies to clients. The IRS will notify the taxpayer of an audit and they'll provide a list of required documents. This little list right here to the left, this is a snippet of a real list, and it's just a tiny snippet of a real list that I received on behalf of a client. It's included in what's called the IDR, information document request. And I'm going to tell you about this list in a minute. Let me finish covering the other sections. So the examiner will meet the taxpayer or the representative. When you become an enrolled agent, I don't recommend you allowing the taxpayer to be present. Meet the revenue agent alone on behalf of your client. The IRS will determine whether changes are needed. So the IRS will provide a formal notice of a field audit. And the taxpayers, what they do is they have to gather all the records in advance before the audit. If adjustments are made and the taxpayer can agree, the taxpayer can appeal, or the taxpayer can dispute the findings. So this over here it was like I received a 4-page IDR. The revenue agent requested every book and record document that you can think of in QuickBooks. The revenue agent requested it. So I printed out thousands and thousands of pages with all of these reports that the revenue agent requested. I put it in a really nice binder. I tabbed it all for, and I made it real pretty. So during the audit, and the audit was at my office, during the audit, when me and the revenue agent was talking, I discovered that the revenue agent didn't know how to read any of the reports. And I'm like, you requested all these reports, and do you even know what you're reading? Because some of the stuff that she was saying, I'm like, it's no way in hell this lady know what she's doing. So I just asked her, I said, do you know what you're reading? And she was like, well, we normally have a QuickBooks specialist. I was like, oh, hell no. So you mean to tell me you done request all these reports and you don't even know how to read the reports? You know what I did? I ended the audit. I ended it. Well, I'm sorry, I didn't end the audit. I ended the meeting. It was a waste of my time and a waste of my client's time. My client wasn't there, but of course, they be on pins and needles waiting, want to know what's going to happen after the audit. I ended the meeting and I told her, you can take this binder, these are your copies, and give it to your QuickBooks specialist, whoever that may be. But you wasted my time. And you know what she did? She got up and she left. You know what happened at that audit? At the end of that audit, it was closed with no change. I don't know if she gave the reports or the big old booklet. I don't know if she gave it to her QuickBooks specialist or not. But I do know that my client, he had excellent books and records. And he honestly, he didn't cheat on his tax returns. That had to be the cleanest set of books that I had ever seen before. So don't be afraid to put them out your office if you think that they don't know what they're doing or if you think that they're wasting your time. All right, let's see where we are on time. 12:30. Good timing. This is a visual of what tax professionals go through every year. let me give you the ebonics of the CP2000, and then I'll give you the clean version that's listed in the outline. So every year, tax professionals always have to preach to their clients about do not come to get no estimate or get your taxes prepared if you have not received all your W-2s. And what do? They come and they file and they file and they know they still got 8 more W-2s for $16 because they done work 20 different places for that tax year. So this is a taxpayer promising her tax professional with her son on her hip, promising her tax professional that this is it. These are all the W-2s. I don't have anything else to report. What happens? The CP2000 notice is mailed anytime the tax info doesn't match. Now what happens? The taxpayer who was in a rush to file her taxes because she was trying to get that loan, her tax refund is now placed on hold even longer and possibly audited because she was being fast. That's the ebonic version. The clean version. If reported income doesn't match IRS records, the taxpayer receives a CP2000 notice. It is not a bill, but a proposed adjustment. Taxpayers must respond by the deadline or risk an automated assessment. I know y'all are well aware of CP2000s. You're gonna have questions on the EA exam about CP2000s. So make sure you fully understand what they are and why clients receive them. Okay, let's talk about the taxpayer rights in the IRS audit. You as a soon-to-be enrolled agent need to know your taxpayer rights. It's going to help protect your clients and improve your audit outcomes. If you don't know what your rights are or what your clients' rights are, you're not going to be as successful as you could be when you're working audits. I always do my own analysis, my bank analysis. I don't ever go by what the revenue agent, or if it's a revenue officer, I don't ever go by what the revenue officer says. I always do my own analysis because I have that right and my client have that right too. I have that right to question whatever decisions that the revenue agents or the revenue officers make. So the taxpayers have the right to representation by a tax professional. They have the right to appeal IRS findings, and they have the right to fair treatment and due process. Most of my cases are won in appeal. If a revenue agent don't give me what I want, or if they're not trying to work with me, I'll tell them to issue that audit letter and we'll petition the tax court and we'll appeal it. And that's how I win a lot of my cases. Let's see. Liliana, you have reached the recording limit for your plan. Liliana, I don't know how to take that off. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm trying to keep up with the questions in the chat and stay focused as well. Okay, we're almost done, and I'll allow questions. Do I have any other questions so far? Any questions on anything that we've covered so far? If you have any questions, you can unmute yourself or you can type it in the chat. Lysandra, that's just an automated message. Stay focused. You know, I lose focus real fast. I want to know more about the fuel tax credit. So, housekeeping, and this is something I'm sorry that I forgot to mention in before we started. You aren't here to learn tax law. You are here to learn how to pass the EA exam. learning more about the fuel tax credit. Once you become a member of the EA Bootcamp, the live EA Bootcamp, you will receive your book and you'll receive access to the online platform, and you will be able to learn everything you need to know about the fuel tax credit from reading and researching. And I'm sorry, I forgot to make that disclaimer at the beginning of the exam. You can assist the client but not represent. Was that a question? Oh, can the EA represent a client at tax court? No. So unless you are a United States tax court practitioner, you cannot represent a client in tax court. So you can do, as an enrolled agent, we can do everything, including negotiate with the IRS's attorney outside of tax court. So you can do all that, but you cannot stand before a judge. You can assist the client but not represent. Yep. Is Melinda a tax attorney? She said she goes to tax court. Girl, I ain't said that. He said that.
You do go to tax court with me?
I mean, I do, but I don't want to put no false information out there.
That's true.
Say that. I did say that. So my situation is different. I'm in tax court. I'm a fraud investigator, and I work with attorneys. I do not, or I have not ever represented a client alone before a judge. Big difference. Don't put them lies out there, because people be peopling. How can we sign up for the in-person boot camp? Okay, thank you, Josie. There's the link for the in-person boot camp. All right, one more question. Can we purchase the EA Bootcamp information if we can't attend in person? Yes, you still can purchase if you don't attend in person. Okay, you're signed up. Yay. Awesome, awesome. Okay, back to the slides. How enrolled agents can assist clients. Number one, we help clients respond properly to IRS notices. Number two, we ensure clients provide correct documentation. Let me talk about that a little bit. So don't ever allow your client to submit anything alone. And I'm going to tell you why. Some people, not y'all clients, some people keep two sets of books. They keep a set of books to submit to the IRS to show how poor they are so they don't have to pay taxes. And they keep another set of books to get approved for loans, houses, and all kind of other stuff. Do not make a mistake and send the wrong set of books to the IRS. I have seen it before. Okay. That's why I don't allow my client to participate in anything. The only time I see a client attend a audit or is on the phone with the IRS is if it's a tax professional that's not licensed. They're trying to practice without a license, so they are assisting the taxpayer and not really representing the taxpayer. All right, number three, we represent clients in audits, appeals, and disputes. Appeals is a separate entity. They're supposed to be independent from the Internal Revenue Service. And what that means is, let's say that your client is audited, but you don't agree with the results of the audit. You can file an appeal. When you file an appeal, that appeal is sent to a separate independent entity of the government. They are supposed to be impartial. I've had to call out a few appeal officers that I've had to represent a client for. I had to call them out because they started out, it didn't feel like they were being impartial. And I had to tell one appeals officer, I told him, aren't you supposed to be impartial? Because it sounds like you are already on the IRS's side. You haven't heard my client's side. You don't even have the full story of the case. But by listening to what you are telling me, it sounds like you've already made the decision that the IRS is right. And so sometimes you have to bring them back down and let them know that you know your client's rights. I ended up still not settling with that appeals officer. Um, I it was sent to, and I always have, all my appeals are docketed. We'll talk about that probably in Atlanta. I'm not going to talk about it today. But when you have a docketed appeal, that appeal normally that docketed when you so a docketed appeal is when you file a petition to tax court. Normally, when you file a petition to tax court, you have to, the client has to file it pro se if they don't have an attorney. As an EA, you are not allowed to sign a petition, but you can assist a client with the pro se petition. I do it all the time. When that petition is filed, you're going to receive a letter in the mail saying that the case was sent back to appeals, but now it's a docketed appeal. If that appeals officer doesn't give me what I want, or if I feel like that appeal officer isn't acting in the best interest of me and my client, and they're only acting in the best interest of the government, I say that, okay, send it back to counsel, we'll go to trial. I say that because I know we're not going to go to trial. I always settle all my cases outside of court. Remember, we cannot go to court. We cannot appear before a judge, but we can go back to the IRS's attorney and we can negotiate with the IRS attorney. I do it all the time. Number 4, we prevent clients from self-incrimination or mistakes. And that's one of the reasons why I did not allow my client to appear in person for the summons, because I knew that they would have did way more harm to themselves, a lot of harm by appearing. So let's see if I have any more questions, because I'm at the end. Sorry, I missed the part about the books, online course, etc. Do we get that when we get to the boot camp? Yep, and I'm about to go over everything about the boot camp in a minute. I think I have one more slide left, and then we're going to talk about that. Any more questions? You're welcome. No problem. I hope to see you in Atlanta. We're going to have so much fun. Okay, so the key takeaways for today's masterclass, and this is just a snippet of the deep dive that we're going to do in Atlanta. The key takeaways and the EA exam prep tips for today is taxpayers must be aware of their rights regarding third-party contacts. Remember what they should and shouldn't be doing. Understanding IRS audit triggers helps professionals advise clients. IRS audits and appeals are heavily tested on the EA exam. And proper tax representation is critical to IRS dispute resolution. So everything that you're going to learn while you're on this EA journey is not only going to help you prepare and pass the exam, but you can use what you're learning right now. You can use it in your practice, like right now. Don't feel bad when you learn something that you think you should have known as a tax preparer for 10 plus years or however long you've been preparing taxes. I promise you, when I first started my EA journey, I was like, "Ooh, I did that wrong." Or, "Ooh, I didn't know that." So you're gonna have those oohs and ahs throughout your EA journey. So don't feel bad. Just make sure moving forward that you are making the right decisions and giving correct information. Okay, do you have to prepare taxes for a certain period of time before focusing on dispute? Absolutely not. You don't have to have any tax preparation experience at all. You can be brand new to the tax industry. You can be straight out of high school. In fact, people that don't have as much tax experience, they learn faster because it's not a whole lot that they have to unlearn, right? Because as tax preparers, some of us learn things the wrong way, or we're given bad information. Now we're having to throw a lot of stuff out because we're kind of brainwashed with incorrect info. So yeah, you don't have to have any experience. How do we sign up for the boot camp? Okay, so everybody asking questions about the boot camp. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. So the first thing that you are going to have to do, cancel your hot girl or your hot boy summer. Summer is canceled for 2025. It's too much going on outside anyway that you don't need to be concerned with. Buckle down, focus from here on out. No, you can't go to the club. No, you can't take the vacations. No, you can't host parties. No, you can't go on cruises. No, you can't go on brunches. I'm telling you, y'all are going to have to focus. If you are a member of our in our private Facebook group, I want you to go back and I want you to read Karen's post. Karen, and I love Karen so much. Karen and Misha is the mother and the aunties of the group. And I told this to them, and just go and read what Karen said. She did otherwise. Karen still was being Karen. So go out and read that. So this is the first thing that I need you to do. Summer council. Number 2, if you are serious about passing the EA exam and you want that VIP deep dive on what you need to know to pass the exam, you need to join us in Atlanta at the live in-person boot camp. We have 4 amazing instructors, including myself. We have a tax attorney, Josie. You'll meet her in a minute. Josie also has a really good fraud criminal investigation program that she's launching. She's going to talk about that in a minute. Lysandra is the home biz tax lady. Anything you need to know about corporations, Lysandra is the person to talk to. George is, like I said, a ball of fun. He works heavily with businesses, focusing on business advisories. We're all licensed enrolled agents. We aren't tax professionals that can't be licensed and teaching courses because we can't be licensed. We are seasoned tax preparers. I'm no longer a tax preparer though. I only do tax resolution. I don't ever want to see another tax return unless I'm auditing that tax return. Jeopardy. Jeopardy is so much fun. Let me go back. Jeopardy is so much fun. We're gonna do Jeopardy some days during the 12-week masterclass. And we're also gonna have a really fun session in Atlanta for Jeopardy. So be looking forward to Jeopardy. So the boot camp will be held at the Georgian Terrace in Atlanta. The registration is on a first come basis. Jade is going to drop the registration link in the chat. But I have a lot more to go over with the registration. Give me a second. We are expecting to sell out fast. One thing that our group, and we had a boot camp in Vegas last year, and it was so much fun. But one thing that they really loved was how small and intimate it was. So we are going to do that again this year. We don't want hundreds of people. because it's only 4 of us. Maybe when we start growing and getting really, really big, then we'll add on more instructors. But for now, it's just us 4, so we can't handle hundreds and hundreds of people right now. The class will be from 8 a.m. to 5 each day. We'll break for lunch an hour and a half, and we will have a orientation. And part 1 will be held virtual before the live session in Vegas to make sure that you all get the most of your time in I said Vegas, live in Atlanta. We want to make sure that you are getting the most of your time at the live in-person boot camp in Atlanta. We want to make sure that we are covering all the sections very thorough, because some people aren't as fast in learning or catching on to something as others. We got a really good deal on the boot camp hotel. We got $189 per night rates for suites. So if you sign up, and once you sign up, you're gonna get a welcome email. No welcome emails haven't been sent out yet. All welcome emails will be sent out on Friday. I wanted to have this first session first, so you all won't be left out or you'll miss your opportunity to get this good deal with the suites. There are only a limited amount of suites. So if you want a suite, which is right now, the rates are less than a regular room. When you sign up, the hotel link will be in the registration email. Make sure you go ahead and sign up. Jade is going to drop the hotel link for those that have already registered for the boot camp, because we do have quite a few people that have already registered. If you've already registered and you want to make sure that you get a suite, you need to go ahead and book. That week is also they're having a World Cup. I don't know if it's a championship, whatever it is, it's something really big, and all the hotels in the area, their rates are kind of high. So again, if you plan to attend in person, make sure that you go ahead and book. This is the suite. This is the living room part. And this is what the amazing Georgian terrace looks like. Included in the E8, if you purchase the live E8 bootcamp, you're going to get all the study materials that you need. You're going to get a book. You'll receive that book in the mail based on when you register. Now, if you register the day before the bootcamp, the live bootcamp in Atlanta, you won't receive your book until you get to Atlanta. But if you register around now, if you register up until like mid-May, you should have your book prior to the live session. So I'm just gonna play a snippet of the platform and what's included with the Fast Forward Academy. Fast Forward Academy is who we're partnered with, and that's what materials that we use for the bootcamp.
Prepare to pass the special enrollment examination with expert instruction, powerful technology, and unparalleled support. Our EA review course combines decades of real-world teaching experience with an innovative learning platform that saves you time. It includes everything you need to pass on the first try, and it's desktop, mobile, and tablet friendly, so you can study from anywhere using just your web browser. We've invested millions of dollars and thousands of hours of development to help you succeed. Sounds great, right? But how does it work? Start by mastering the essentials with our best-selling EA study guide. Over 10 hours of engaging, instructor-led video, and thousands of study questions. That may sound a bit overwhelming, but don't worry. We break up the material into smaller, easy-to-comprehend lessons, focusing only on the concepts you need to know to pass. The course is organized by topic, using the latest IRS exam specifications. Read your textbook, watch the related lectures, and test your understanding by answering questions. With the convenient side-by-side design of our platform, the information you need is always within reach. We've connected your textbooks, lectures, study questions, and other resources to create a highly efficient, streamlined learning experience. Want more information? You won't have to stop what you're doing to go find it. Instead,
So I really like Fast Forward. This is who I use when I pass the exam. I tried Gleim, and a few others. Gleim study questions was I don't know, they were too long and too hard for me. I like Fast Forward better. Their materials were easier to learn and understand. And everything literally, they have books, they have flashcards, they have forms, everything you need is included inside their platform. Um, if you sign up for the in-person boot camp, you receive all of that. All of that is included. And what I also love about Fast Forward Academy is if you don't pass, say the people that attended the boot camp last year and they haven't passed all 3 parts yet, well, they'll have access to all the new information that's going to be released in mid-May of this year. So you'll have access every year until you pass to all the information. What's included? Like they said, you'll have the online course, and that's for all 3 parts. You'll have access to it until you pass. You'll get a study guide. I don't kind like their videos. I don't know. His voice irritates me a little bit. So I really don't like their videos. I like everything except that. They have over 3,000 EA review questions. If you get something wrong, I like that it gives you a very detailed explanation of why you got it wrong. You have unlimited EA practice examinations, and we'll talk about that in Atlanta, how to tell when you're ready to actually take the real exam. Their learning tools are mobile friendly, tablet friendly. The online community is great. You have access to learning materials side by side. You have the IRS forms and publications, and like I said, the digital flashcards as well. What's also included is our amazing instructors. Will provide you cheat sheets. Thanks to Lysandra, you will receive 12 hours of continuing education. You have the live Jeopardy. If you haven't already, join our Facebook group. If you don't have a study buddy, grab your study buddy from out of the Facebook group. You have the discounted hotel rates. So you have all of that and values. I'm not going to go over all the values, but one thing that I really want you to be aware of is this 12-week virtual EA Masterclass that you're going through right now for free has a cost of $13,000. If you attend the boot camp, it is basically free because it's a tax write-off. You can write it all off. Right now we have a deal that's going to expire on March 15th. I think that's next week. If you, let me go to the next page. If you pay in full today, you'll get your $200 off. If you can't afford to pay it all today, you can pay $499 to secure your spot. That will not give you the discount, okay? You're securing your spot and you're gonna have to pay the $19.99 in full. Another option is you can make 3 payments of $695. You are paying in full. So the only way you can get the $200 discount is if you pay it in full. Do not try to combine because it ain't gonna work out. it's gonna be additional processing fees and it's not gonna work out. The early bird specials expires on March 15th. March 15th up until the day of the boot camp. You're gonna have to pay it in full, and the full cost is $1,995. So, a new program that we want to go over real quickly for people that are already enrolled agents or people that are wondering, well, when I get my enrolled agent license, what do I do next? We are, let me see if I have any questions before I keep going. Are we going to get a recording? Yes, you will receive a recording of all weekly sessions by the end of the day. Tax figures. Tax figures is an exclusive training and it's only for enrolled agents. You cannot be considered for the program if you're not an licensed enrolled agent. I will allow each instructor to introduce themselves and quickly tell you about their program, starting with Josie, our tax attorney.
Oh, where am I? Hi, everyone. I'm Josie Harris Walton. I am the tax attorney. I am the tax pros attorney. I pretty much represent tax professionals, and when it comes to criminal fraud, investigations, criminal prosecutions, and all of thereof regarding tax professionals. I do represent taxpayers, but most tax professionals. I am starting my program, which is called the Tax Justice Fellowship. It's a fellowship where you will, as it only EAs, and going forward after this year, it will only be EAs that take this particular EA boot camp because I know that you're learning and you're getting the right information. I will be doing a boot camp. A fellowship regarding EAs who don't know what they want to do, maybe fraud. I'm also getting my team coming in. I hope Melinda going to do resolution. We'll have Lysandra do corporate partnership taxes, and then George do tax strategies. And you can go around. What the plan is everybody will go around those sections and see which one they really like, because you may not like tax fraud. You may not like the criminal. You may want to do just corporate partnership tax returns. So I want to give the option of doing everything. And the good thing about that is you get paid as you train. Not just it's not a coaching program where you got to pay. It's a training program which you will work with us, because I have so many cases right now that people can help me work on. And I think it'll be good for EAs and fellowship to do that. So I am Josie Harris Walton. I'm excited for you guys. I think I'm in week 4, but I'll be here every week on Thursday. And then I will definitely be in Atlanta because I'm here. So I'm excited about Hot Atlanta, but y'all won't get a hot girl summer, but we got Hot Atlanta. So thank you guys. Hello, everybody I know and I don't know.
Lysandra.
Hey y'all, hey. So I am very excited to be with you all. And yes, I get it. People, you hear people saying tax prep is going for the way of the dinosaurs and all of that. But let me tell you something, competent tax prep is still a necessary skill. You just need to upgrade those skills and learn the corporate and the partnership tax preparation, because there ain't gonna be enough programming for that for a really, really long time. So I get it, individual taxes, but yeah, I still love doing taxes. I still love the puzzle of it all, and so and that's what I want to make sure folks know, that that is absolutely okay. It's just there's a different skill that you need to learn, and that's what I'm here for. And I'm excited to see you all in Atlanta, and I'm messing with an S corp return when we get done. So yeah.
Mr. George, Doc.
Hello, everybody. Looking forward to seeing you guys in Atlanta. I'm George, aka Doc G. So, what do I talk about in the tax figures part? Well, most people that we represent, and I'm sure everybody will concur, they don't get in trouble out of willful, intent. They get in trouble for not knowing. And most of these folks are business owners. I mean, these are exempt of the ones that went to the light switch preparers, but they get in trouble for not knowing. They're first generation, wealth builders and whatnot. They never handled this kind of money. They don't know the laws or whatever. And so while we do represent them on that side, we try to get to people to be proactive. There is a lot of opportunity in uh, virtual CFO services, advisory, tax strategy, and helping people keep money in their pocket while being compliant at the same time. So if that's a segment you're interested in, I got your back. Tax prep is definitely a thing. It helps keep me sharp or whatever. I don't do individuals unless they came to me already in trouble or whatever to help them get out. But outside of that, if they don't own a business, I can't help them. Thank you for the referral, but I'm going to send them down the road.
Amazing. Well, those are all of our amazing instructors. We are excited about assisting you with becoming an enrolled agent. I was talking to somebody last night and I was telling them, if you haven't got your 7 figures yet in the tax industry, this is gonna be your year. You just gotta stay up to date on all these changes that are being made with this new administration. It's a lot, and we're gonna try our best to keep you all informed and guide you and help you figure your way through the tax industry, because there's so many areas that you can do. But what we don't want you to do is try to do everything. I don't like working with people that try to do everything. I don't like working with people that don't like to refer stuff that they're not masters in out. I just don't do business that way. So if you come on the resolution side under Josie's program and you want me to teach you how to be successful in resolution, but you still doing credit repair, you got a janitorial service, you got a vacation service, you got a pet service, I'm gonna dismiss you from the program, okay? Because I can't. It irks my spirit when y'all try to do
Barbershop.
everything under the moon. I'm gonna help y'all make those 7 figures this year. Lysandra is gonna help you make your 7. George and Joseph, we all gonna help y'all make those 7 figures in the tax industry. But first, you got to get licensed. So, this is where you start.
And
Okay,
let me add,
over.
let
Go.
me let me add real quick, guys, that because I see this a lot. People chase the paycheck and they're chasing the designation for, as the young people say, the bag. I have to ask my daughter if I can still say that. But it's bigger than that. It's a lifestyle and it's a lifelong learning commitment. And so, I mean, like right now, I can publicly thank Josie and Lysandra, for beating up their phones, once or twice a month anyway, so I mean, it's never a thing where you're supposed to know everything. It's about mastering your lane and building connections in that community to help that all work.
Yep. Awesome. Well, we are a little over. Do we have any more questions before we end? You all will receive a recording of this. Somebody said something?
Yes, can you hear me okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Hi. Okay, so I registered and I paid $4.99, not realizing that I could have either paid the full or, well, to get the discount. I want to get the discount. So how do I didn't realize that I could have paid the 6 something to get the discount. Does that make sense?
Are you the person that I spoke with? Or
No.
I haven't spoken with you. Okay, so I got you. I'll shoot you an email afterwards and I'll
Okay,
get you a customized link so you can get the discount. No problem.
thank you.
You're welcome. What if you already purchased Fast Forward Academy? If you've already purchased Fast Forward Academy, your price will be different. I don't have that list in front of me, but I will shoot. Let me see, Denise Bell. Denise, I have your contact information, and I'll include this information in the email that's going to go out today with this recording. For people that already have Fast Forward, you don't have to pay the full price since you already have access to the platform. Just know that you'll have to buy your book when you attend the in-person boot camp, because we won't have a book for you. Yes. So for anybody that already have the Fast Forward Academy, that's great. That means you all are a little ahead. You're already studying, and I love it. We do have a special price for you if you already have Fast Forward Academy materials.
Melinda, I think someone had one more question above that about the 3 payments. I don't know if it got answered. Natalie, you see that one?
Oh, Natalie, if we do the 3 payments, when are they all due? So the 3 payments are due 30 days apart. I'll include that in the email this evening too, because there's a deadline date for those 3 payments, because we want to make sure that you all are able to get access to the platform and get your books in time before the in-person boot camp. Let's see. Rishana said this gonna be her year. Yes, ma'am, girl. I'm claiming it for you. I need some more rich friends. Okay. I like the vacation. I like to eat good. I need some more rich friends. So we're gonna make sure everybody get rich this year. Can we pre-order the book? I don't know what you mean by pre-order, but once you pay for the in-person boot camp, your book is included with that. And as soon as they release those books and the new material, your books will be mailed to you. Did I answer your question, Yvonne? Will there be a replay? Yes, there will be a replay. You'll receive that this evening. I would love that updated information. Okay, if you're talking about the fast forward, yep, you're gonna get it. Yvonne, did that answer your question? That's the last question I see. We have a lot of people on today. I'm excited for y'all. I just want y'all to remember when you hit them 7 figures, I like the vacation. So just take me anywhere.
All right,
Take
don't forget us. Don't forget us.
right. Don't forget us. And we are going to be family for life. I have fast forward as well. Okay, if you got fast forward, great. I already have everybody's contact information. If you're on the masterclass, the webinar today, then you'll receive that email. Okay. I have fast forward. Good. I'm glad to see that a lot of you already have fast forward. I love it. Okay, we still got over 50 people on. Unless you all enjoy looking at my pretty face. Oh no. You got more questions? We like to have fun, y'all. I promise you, this it's a lot of information, but we're gonna make it fun. It won't be boring, it won't be long, it will be an information overload. But we are going to make it as fun as possible. Josie loves to dance. I'm gonna see if we can get Josie to get some boots on the ground questions in and teach us how to do the boots on the ground in Vegas. I got 2 left feet. How do I get fast forward? If you sign up for the boot camp, it's included. So if you register for the in-person boot camp, fast forward materials are included. As soon as the new information is released for this year's testing period, because the information is updated every year, as soon as the information is released from Fast Forward Academy in mid-May, you all will start receiving all your fast forward information. I have 3 licenses. I'm ready to add another one. I know that's right, girl. That EA, depending on what your goals are, is going to probably be the only one you need. What are the Atlanta dates? The Atlanta dates is June 16th through the 18th. Is that right, y'all? Make sure I'm
Yep,
giving you
that's right.
Yeah, that's what Jan said.
June 16th through the 18th. So you'll want to fly in if you don't live in Georgia. You will want to fly in the day before. June 15th is the day you want to fly in. And June 19th is the day you want to fly out because day 3, we are going to, it's going to be like a career day. Day 3. I live here. Awesome, Crystal. See you then. Are you planning other locations this year or only Atlanta? We'll have to see. We did discuss going to Texas later this year. I guess it depends on how many participants we get in Atlanta. That'll determine if we are going to proceed with going to Texas or not. Really quickly, I never received the Zoom, even though I have registration several times. I re-registered. Okay, Yvonne, I'm sorry. I'll make sure that you are on our email list. Somehow you probably was left off. So I'll make sure. Dallas, Texas. I don't know. George, did we say, is it Dallas or Houston? Who got the best food? That's where I want to go.
It was Dallas, but you can't ask a man from New Orleans who has the best food in
Oh.
Texas. Is it not applicable?
So,
I am a tax expert for TurboTax, and they provided us with Fast Forward at a discount. I took the advantage. Awesome. Awesome. Would love Texas. Texas. Okay, Texas.
okay, Texas is K.
Big company Texas.
You might have to go to Texas, baby.
Is okay. Jonesboro, Arkansas. Who going on to Arkansas? Why we want to go to Arkansas? What's going on in Arkansas?
Isn't
It's
it close?
close enough to Dallas. They can come on
It's,
down.
that was what I was about to say. It's close enough to Texas, so they can come on. They can come on to Texas.
I would love to Jonesboro, Arkansas. I don't know about Arkansas. We gotta give that some thought. Can you drop the link again for the hotel? So if you have not registered for the EA bootcamp, you can't register for you can't book a hotel yet. But Jade, go ahead and drop the link again for the hotel. But just make sure that if we don't have you on the list for the boot camp, your hotel registration won't be processed because it's a certain amount of suites that we are saving exclusively for registered. Oh, I forgot to mention, for those of you that join every masterclass, you have to attend every masterclass and participate in the online questions in the Facebook group. And those questions will start back on Monday. We were preparing for today, this week. We will reimburse you your full amount for the boot camp. So we're gonna do a drawing at the end of the masterclass. Keep that in mind. Also, we had a few participants last year in the Atlanta area that was able to attend the boot camp in Vegas for free because they got scholarships from the Georgia NAEA. We'll talk more about that later on during the master classes when they release the registration for those scholarships. I'll make sure I send it to you all. The only thing with that is you have to be a Georgia resident to get that scholarship. But if we come across any other scholarships or anything that we think can help those of you that really can't afford it, we'll definitely give you that information. But I look at it as you can't afford not to be there if you really want to pass the EA exam. One client will pay for everything that you're going to spend in Atlanta. So keep that type of mindset. Are there any other states? Not that I know of, Latoya, but I'll keep my eyes and ears open for you if you are in other states. I'm a member of the Georgia NAEA, and that's why I'm aware of that. Okay, Crystal, there is the link again for the hotel or for anybody that has already registered and you're ready to pay for your suite. You want to go on and get it before they're all gone. Feel free to do so. Okay, any more questions before we log off? I would love to go, especially with everything that's included, but I won't be able to make those dates. So you will receive the recordings if you can't attend in person. You can still receive the recordings after the in-person boot camp. So don't count yourself out if those dates conflict. You can still receive all the recordings. Marcus and anyone else. Anybody else? Any more questions with this new administration trying to remove income
Yeah.
taxes? Think, babe, let me tell you
It's
something.
gonna be better.
All year giving you reasons why income taxes ain't going nowhere. Income taxes ain't going nowhere. Trust me. This government depends, this country depends too much on the revenue from taxes. It ain't going nowhere. Nope. This new administration, Lysandra said taxes has been around since Jesus. Taxes has been around before Jesus, BC, before Christ. And it's gonna be here.
They're not going anywhere.
It ain't going nowhere. It ain't going
Even
nowhere.
one thing older than taxes, we ain't gonna talk about that.
Even when you die, you still got to pay taxes. So yeah, taxes ain't going nowhere. We might catch hell with these employees that's gonna be cut in half. If you don't know about what's going on, go and listen to the live that I did last night. I don't want to talk about it today. Businesses will forever need it. You're absolutely right, Marcus. Businesses will forever, and that's why Lysandra's program is going to be really good for those of you that aren't as knowledgeable as you should be with corporation taxes. I wouldn't bother myself with individual taxes. I would focus on business if I were you. But I'm not you, so I can't make that decision. I don't like tax preparation at all. At all. Can the instructors provide your specialties again? I had to step away for a second. Okay. So Zanata, you can go back and you can watch the Zoom for details, but if you are interested in going the tax resolution route, I will be the person helping you with that because that is what I specialize in, tax resolution. George, you want to tell them what y'all do again?
I specialize in mentally abusing IRS representatives. No. No, I specialize in business advisory, tax strategies, and trust and whatnot.
Josie and Lysandra.
I specialize in fraud investigations, criminal investigations, criminal prosecution.
So you don't have to be an attorney to dabble into criminal investigations. I'm a fraud investigator, and me and Josie actually just got back last week
And
from
headed somewhere again in 2 weeks.
right
I'm sorry.
somewhere again to meet with the Department of Justice for some criminal investigations, and it's so exciting, y'all. I promise y'all gonna love her program. You are gonna love it. Lysandra.
Yeah, I specialize in corporate tax.
He
That
also
is
specializes in research.
cannabis too. Lysandra, do you still do cannabis specialty?
No, I never did cannabis.
That
I
was
thought she
me.
did too. It was
Mm-mm.
George. George, you did cannabis, right?
You
Yeah.
do cannabis?
George does it.
Yeah, I
Okay,
don't
so
specialize in it anymore. It was an area that I was involved in, but with the evolving laws and the eventual legalization, I kind of backed away from it. The 280E thing was going to be kind of going away. So
gotcha. Okay. All right. That is one of the many reasons I want my EA. Got my first exam down, taking my second and third after tax season. We accountants, tax preparers. Yep, absolutely right. EAs is in high demand right now. Okay. We got to run. We appreciate you all for joining. The recordings will be sent out this evening, and we will see you all in the group or next week at next week's masterclass.
Instructors, can y'all hold tight for like 5 minutes after everybody gets out?
Yes.
Okay.
That'd be 5 minutes because I had an appointment in a little bit.
Okay.
So Lysandra kicking y'all out because we got
Yeah, I've been waiting patiently.